So this talk is called Ambiguity of the Meaning of Lightspeed Constancy. Some of these talks could go on for far too long and going into too much detail. So basically I just want to give a brief introduction to this problem of the ambiguity of the meaning of lightspeed constancy. So the paper I will be referring to is this one. It's from the Australian Journal of Physics. It was published in 1958 by a person called Builder. And Builder seems to be this person, Geoffrey Builder, who lived from 1906 to 1960. He was a physicist and radio engineer. So the paper I'm referring to was published in 1958. Builder didn't live much longer after that. Maybe that led to it being mostly forgotten. Builder points out things from a context in 1958, but things have moved on a bit since then. As I've pointed out in previous videos, things get changed in relativity. But what are you saying is still valid if make allowances. Today there are numerous types of light speed, stroke velocity, local phase, group, etc., which only makes it more confusing as to what is meant by the term light speed, stroke velocity. Now, of course, velocity and speed don't mean the same thing. Velocity is speed and direction, but a lot of the time in the relativity literature they seem to be being used the same way. So this is the paper by Builder, and he says the principle of the constancy of the velocity of light, and that can also mean light speed and the way we're dealing with it, has generally been given a prominent place in the discussions of the restricted theory of relativity. And by restricted theory, that is generally talked of as special relativity. Yet lack of any clear and unambiguous statement of the principle has led to it frequently being misunderstood and to it sometimes being adduced as a basis for fallacious conclusions, i.e. conclusions that are wrong. I want to point out he wants to go on to form a non-ambiguous way of talking about light speed, stroke velocity, but have others taken up that suggestion? I think not. And so what he says about it being ambiguous and frequently misunderstood, etc., I think carries on today both for promoters and believers in relativity, i.e. it's all messed up. And so what he says is the following: the principle of the constancy of the velocity of light has generally been given a prominent position in exposition of the restricted theory of relativity, following the lead given by Einstein in his early papers. It appears frequently as one of the fundamental postulates of the theory of special relativity, that is. In most other cases, it is presented as a consequence of the Lorentz transformations when these have been otherwise established. In spite of this, it does not seem possible to derive from the literature a statement of the principle that is clear and unambiguous, and that would command universal approval. So what's in the literature? It's ambiguous. And you've got disagreement between people as to what light speed, constancy should mean. It seems apparent that it is taken by various authors to mean quite different things. The consequent vagueness as to the exact significance of the principle leaves it open to quite improper applications. This is so not only for laymen and philosophers, but even for scientists themselves, i.e. they're all messing it up. And I think the situation carries on today like that. He was pointing it out in 1958 and things haven't changed since then. So that's the end of this short little talk, and hopefully I will be picking up this issue in more detail with the next video.